Boy, it's certainly nice to win. It seems like it's been forever since we've had the opportunity to sing that fight song and kind of have that winning feeling in the locker room after a game. So it was certainly nice to win and to see the smiles on the faces of the players. I couldn't be more proud of the way they showed up and played. I know there was a lot of people on the outside that were questioning what incentive or motivation does this team have to play for with no bowl and no conference championship on the line. But we talk about the program and the pillars that we build it on with the brotherhood and the trust and the family and the commitment. And then just having the opportunity to play for each other. But really proud of the effort and the way they went out there and the way they played. Offensively, there's certainly an awful lot of accolades to go around when you have 500 yards, you score 42 points. We rushed for 180, which was our highest of the season. Aaron was 21 of 27, throwing the ball for 324 yards. Did a really nice job with that. We were 7 out of 10 on third down, which is 70%, which is highest we've had all year. We were 1 for 1 on fourth down when you incorporate that. Offensively, we're in the red zone 6 times. We scored 5 touchdowns. The only time we didn't score a touchdown was the 2-minute drive when we threw the ball into the 18-yard line and then had to line up and kick a field goal on the very next play. So started the game with a 17-play, 99-yard drive for a touchdown. There was, like I said, 8 explosive plays for 222 yards and 21 points. I just think there was an awful lot to build on. We had 4 drives that went over 70 yards for touchdowns, and just very proud of the way the offense was able to go out and perform. Defensively, I thought the front 7 played really well. We had some guys up front on the defensive line that are playing extremely well. I know Deshaun, somebody you're going to hear from today, played really well. I thought the linebackers played well. I was really proud of our front 7, but boy, we were not very secure on the back end. When you just look at the pass defense and some of the yards we gave up, I think some of that is a testament to Reynolds, the quarterback at Charlotte, who I thought played very, very well, competed, ran the ball a little bit, but really threw some balls on time, and they were placed perfectly. I thought he did a really nice job, but we've got to get our back end shored up a little bit more as we continue to go forward with this. Defense had, I think, one of the more exciting plays in college football, which is a 4-down goal line stand from the 3-yard line to get that stop there. They had the turnover to prevent a score on the 1-yard line going in. Khalil Ladler made just a great play there. And they had a couple key stops, which gave us an opportunity to take a lead that the offense wasn't willing to give up. And so special teams I thought were really solid, but really appreciate the effort and the attitude that these guys played with. A lot of guys in the Victors Club, all 5 offensive linemen, I thought played really well. Marcus Williams, his 4-touchdown day was impressive with what he did and the way that he ran the ball. I thought Keon Henry Brooks and Greg Garner ran extremely hard. The receivers all got in on the mix. When you look at Smoke had, I think, 98 yards. You've got guys like Bub Means had a good day. Isaiah Graham had a good day. Trey Harris had a good day. I thought they caught the ball really well and did some good things. And then I can't say enough positive things about Aaron Allen and how happy I am for him. I know the last month has been very difficult for him to sit and watch somebody else step in and run with the ones, but I thought he was very patient. We always talk about be prepared for your opportunity, and when his opportunity came, he was prepared for it. He was poised. I thought he did a really nice job of protecting the football outside of one read, but really for the most part, I thought he did a good job of running the offense. And I thought he made some really good decisions and showed an awful lot of poise on third down, having to sit in the pocket. We talked about defensively, the guys up front. Keevy Rose continues to play well. Deshaun Hall was our pit bull, our defensive MVP. Michael Clark Willie Baker. We talked about the linebackers and the job that they're doing right now. So I think there's an awful lot of positive things to build on for sure moving forward. Really proud of the effort from this team last week and what they were able to accomplish, and excited to get into another one this week. I mean, we know that there's nothing, quote, quote, tangible to play for as far as prizes and awards, but there is an awful lot of pride, and it's really important to us to make sure that we can send these seniors out on a positive note with everything that they've contributed to this program over the last 4 and 5 years. So excited for the win, really proud of the players, and really proud of just the way they competed and their toughness.
Ethan, you want to start us off with some questions?
Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you, Ethan.
Coach, looking at how the offense was able to come into its own in the last weeks of the season, do you think this was the most complete offensive performance you guys had, having Allen throw for over 300 yards and Williams Jr. rushing for over 100 yards? It seems like everything came together and kind of showed what Louisiana Tech offense could have been for the entire season.
Yeah, I think it started with the way the offensive line performed up front, creating those holes. And when you're able to run the ball the way that we were as an offense, I think it really opened up some things in the passing game and put the receivers in some one-on-one situations. And Aaron read it and threw it. And I thought the players on the outside, the receivers, really, they produced. Smoke Harris caught the ball. I mean, he's electric with it under his arm. I think he had 98 yards, but he had like 50 in the air and 50 on the ground, where he makes things happen with it after he catches it. So I think that the being able to run the ball created some openings for the passing game, and in the passing game created some opportunities for some big plays, as we talked about, with 222 yards on explosive plays. So yeah, I think it was probably one of our more complete games when you look at it statistically. I think we played really solid when you look at games like NC State and Mississippi State and some of those, but certainly from a production standpoint, with over 500 yards and 180 yards rushing and over 300 passing, it was probably statistically our best game of the year.
Coach, looking at Austin Kendall, what is the situation with him? What's the injury? Is he going to be ready to go for this week? What's it looking like?
Well, we don't know at this point. I mean, he came out, he practiced a little bit. He's limited right now, and really we're just waiting to see how he's going to respond to treatment and when he's going to be 100%. I don't want to put him out there and risk further injury, but I want to make sure that he's healthy, and I know he's frustrated because nobody wants to play more than him. Nobody's given up more to come back for a college football season than him. And I know how frustrating it is for him right now to give up his job, to get back into having the opportunity to play college football and not being able to get out there and play with his teammates. I know it's really frustrating for him. So I think he's working extremely hard to get back. And we are just waiting to see how the treatment and everything is going to take and when he's going to be 100%. So we're hopeful it'll be this week, but I can't at this point. We don't know how slow or fast he's going to progress with the treatments he's going through right now.
And Coach, what is that injury, if you could disclose that?
It's a lower back.
Lower back injury. And if he's not ready to go by Friday, which I'll get into in a minute, will we see Allen again, or will we see JD this week? Yeah,
JD's kind of in the same boat right now that Austin Kendall is. He's been going through some treatment in his shoulder that held him out last week, and he wasn't able to throw. And he is getting better, and he's progressing, and we're just going to have to wait and see. We'll take him out today and see if he can do a little bit more than he did yesterday. So right now, with those two coming around, we're certainly hopeful that one or both of them will be available for Saturday. But right now, as it's Tuesday, then we'll go out and practice, being on a shortened week. If Aaron gets the reps this week, then Aaron will be the guy that's going to start for sure.
And Coach, looking at the defense and how it's been one of the focal points for the entire season, what are the criticisms that you have from last week, and what are the praises that you have going into the next week?
The praises I have are the way the front seven's playing. Our defensive line, I think, has played really well up front all year. And you take it, and all of a sudden, a guy like Levi Bell, who was one of our bell cows and one of our vocal leaders and very active leaders on the defensive line, went out after 4 games, really after 2 games, and hadn't really played since. And I think that guys like Deshaun Hall, Michael Clark, Keevy Rose, Willie Baker, some guys have really stepped up and are doing a really nice job up front. I think we've got some depth. Some of the younger guys, the Joe Masons, the Rasheed Lyles, the Kershawn Fishers. I think some of those guys have made great additions for us right now, and they're really playing well, and they're serving a major role for us right now and being able to spell some of those starters. I think the linebacker room, even though Cody Fulp has been out, the linebacker room continues to progress. I thought that Trey Baldwin and Tyler Grubbs played excellent games last week as Mackie Carabin and Alan Walker continue to progress along. So I think our front seven is playing really, really well. I'm proud of them, the way that they're competing, the way that they're growing, the way that they're developing. I think the defensive front seven has certainly been a bright spot, and I didn't even talk about Ezekiel Barnett, but he's been a guy that's been our pit bull a couple times over the last couple weeks, playing really well. So I think our front seven's doing some good things, but in the back end, it'll be, right now you've got B.J. Williamson's been out, Miles Mason's been out, Khalil Ladler went out last week with the targeting call. And really, all of a sudden, a guy like Marquellis Turner, who was a walk-on at the beginning of the year, we put on scholarship, gets thrown out there, and he's cutting his teeth for the very first time against one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. And it was a learning experience for him. And I think we've got to look at some things that if we're stuck in that situation again, how can we help a young guy a little bit more than we did? How can we cover him up and maybe not put him on such an island where we have an opportunity to get him out of a deep responsibility. So if he does miss a tackle or make a mistake, it's not costing you points. So I think we got to get better with our pass defense for sure, but I really like the way that our run defense has stood up and progressing and developing.
Coach, just 2 more questions from me. Looking at how you guys are undefeated at home currently, what would it mean in the season that you've had to have that bright spot to go into this last home game and be able to take it away and say that you were home and undefeated?
Well, I think when I look at guys, like these seniors and this being senior day, we want to send them out the right way. We want to make sure when they leave here with everything they've done for this program, with the commitment they've made, with all the games that they've won and the role that they've played in the leadership of this football team, we just want to send them all out with a positive taste in their mouth, with a good feeling, with the understanding the contribution they made to this great university. And every senior we have at this point has his degree in his hand, which is awesome, because ultimately that's the goal when you go play college football, is to make sure that you get a degree. And every senior that we have, 19 of them right now, have graduated, which is really pretty neat to see. Those guys have all already finished and taking care of business there. Now I'd love to find a way to win this last game at home and hopefully even go on a 3-game win streak if we could, to send these guys out the right way, because they certainly deserve it. They've certainly earned it. And anybody that has the opportunity to come out this week to support these seniors for Senior Day on Friday night, please, I encourage you to come out. These guys, I know this season hasn't been what any of us wanted it to be, hasn't been what any of us hoped it would be, but at the same time, I couldn't be more proud of these players. I think when I look at the unselfishness of this team, when I look at the togetherness and I look at the work ethic and the character for the way these guys continue to fight, I would ask students, people that are here, I know school ends on Thursday, stay one more day, come to the game Friday, and let's tell these seniors thank you for the contribution that they've made to help us build Louisiana Tech football to what it is today.
And lastly, Coach, how will having the game on Friday affect your recruiting, especially with high school football playoffs in the midst?
Well, I don't know that it'll affect recruiting directly because we weren't going to go out this weekend anyway. But I'm a believer that Friday nights is reserved for high school football. I love high school football. I love going to games. I love during the recruiting process, during our open date, I get a chance to go over to Shreveport and to go to some games, to stand there, to listen to the bands, to watch the players, to smelling the popcorn, to seeing the blow-up dummies in the end zone they're going to run through to come out, or the sheets that are made. I think there's just a wholeness about high school football. And high school football is made for Friday night. Unfortunately, they didn't ask me if I wanted to play on Friday night. You know what I mean? It's like this is college football is a big business, and you look at it now with the MAC and the Sun Belt playing on Tuesday night, Wednesday's night, Thursday night, and here we are on Friday night. But I've always been a traditionalist that believed that college football's on Saturday and high school football's on Friday, but I certainly understand the opportunity for the television exposure, to have the opportunity to put the Louisiana Tech brand on a national television network and have people all over the country learn a little bit more about Louisiana Tech and watch the game and get on the computer and Google Louisiana Tech and its majors and kind of really come on in and visit what this place is all about. So I certainly understand it, and I'm excited about the opportunity and the exposure that we get on Friday night. But it's kind of bittersweet because I also don't want to take away from anything that some of these high school programs are doing around the state and the great years they're having, or take away from what they're building and what they're doing right now.
Thank you, Coach.